We're going to move on to Hampton's question next. He says, hey guys, I'm 28 and I currently have about $18K in my 401k and was contributing 15%.
Love it.
But I constantly feel like we don't have enough cash. I dropped my 401k contributions down to the match to pay off consumer debt and build up more cash. And now I have remorse that I'm missing the golden years of investing. Is that the right move? And P.S. we are also raising a 7-month-old. So squarely in the messy middle. So what advice or what words of encouragement do you have for Hampton?
Well, here's what we found in our experience. A lot of times people start on our financial journey and we don't know what to do, so we just do something. And I'm gonna, Hampton, I don't know if this is your case, but say, hey, I've heard I need to save. I'm gonna go start doing 15% in my 401k. And that's awesome. We love that you did that. But what that means is you probably jumped into the story somewhere in the middle and you didn't start the story at the beginning. And what we said is, man, what if we could provide a tool? What if we could provide something for folks where they know exactly where they should start and how they should progress? How valuable might that be?
If this thing could only play like a tune, you know.
I think you're doing it.
But the financial order of operations, because what Hampton really laid out is that do an employer match. He's got that. But he also let it loose that he's saving 15%. But then he said he had some higher consumer debt. I don't know if that's credit cards or what it is. But this is why we have structured the financial order of operations, so you'll actually know what to do with your next dollar. And look, and here's the other part, Hampton, just to give you the rest of the story on this is, I think a lot of people think that these steps through FOO is going to go step 1, 2, all the way through step 9, and it's not going to change. That is not right. You're going to have all kind of things that happen in life, like you having a 7-month-old, where all of a sudden your priorities and other financial goals will change. So it's not uncommon that you might get to like step 6 and then you have to go back to step 4 because you used a lot of your emergency reserves for that house, that first house down payment and so forth. Or maybe you get laid off somewhere, or you have a job change because you just want to move to a different place and go into a different industry. You never know where you're going. So that's why the financial order of operations really is your kind of instruction manual on knowing what to do with your next dollar. So the question I'd have for you, you say you have high interest consumer debt, but yet you're doing 15% and you feel like you're still leaving something on the table. I'm going to challenge you to go look at what you're paying on those credit cards or the consumer debt. And if you're paying 20% or greater, you need to knock that out after you get your employer match. So then you can have even more dollars to attack, maybe even beyond that 15%. After you fill up your emergency reserves, you can start hitting the Roth, the HSAs, as well as that maxing out those 401ks. It's all here for you. It's also, if you really want to get a jump start, I have a book, Millionaire Mission, that will lighten this load and also give you the origin story of how all these steps of FOO came about too.
Yeah, it's really interesting. The language you used, I think you said, is I feel cash strapped. One of the beautiful things about the financial order of operations is if you do knock out step 3, get rid of that high interest debt, and if you then do have an appropriate emergency fund, it's going to prevent you from feeling that tension, from feeling that anxiety of, oh man, I don't have enough cash. Because you know you've got your cash chiseled off, and then you can put your dollars to work. And at 28 years old, your money is still so powerful. So if it takes you 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, even a year to get all the way back up to step 6 to where then you are probably putting 15% into your 401k, that's okay because you are still young and you have time. And your future self will thank you when those unknowns happen and that emergency fund has to be tapped into.
I don't want Hampton to leave, though, without some positive. Hampton, I want you to go to moneyguy.com/resources, play with our wealth multiplier tool on there, and you're going to see at age 28, and you already have an $18,000 saved up. Lots of opportunity. And that's why it's also going to let you reprogram your mind on how all those dollars that are going towards that consumer debt and the interest maybe needs to be coming and thought of differently.